Are there limits to unconditional love? Have you ever been in a debate about the idea of unconditional love? And is there such a thing? Do we or should we have limits on our so-called unconditional love? In this video, I'm going to give you some ideas on how to reframe how you see this idea, this ultimate love. A lot of people crave unconditional love without actually understanding what it means, so it often ends up getting confused with something like tolerance. At TraumaEdCo, we know that understanding and processing emotions is a huge part of trauma healing. And since love is the biggest emotion of them all, digging into our ideas about it, for better or worse, is an important step on any journey. So let's dissect the true meaning, and I'll even share with you my secret about unconditional love. First, what unconditional love is not. Unconditional love does not mean love without limits or bounds. It does not mean tolerating the other person or their actions and behaviors. For example, in a relationship where somebody is using abusive words to put you down or abusive actions to keep you in line, unconditional love does not mean, oh, I love you, so I'm going to take it. Unconditional love does not mean I'm going to accept these bad words or mean words that you're saying because I love you. It does not mean I'm going to let you physically hurt my body because I love you, and the kind of confusion that goes along with that. So what unconditional love is it means I offer up to you my love freely without condition. This means that when we offer our love, it's with love and respect, and it's a true gift. It's a love that we offer so freely, which means that we offer it without the expectations of repayment. So you could imagine if you are giving to somebody in its very basic form, imagine that you are driving down the freeway and somebody wants to come in, so you lovingly let them in. Are you doing it because you are giving that gift, or are you doing it because you're wanting the thank you? So allowing somebody to come into that space, if you are doing it because you're wanting the thank you, then it is not an actual real love. It's a love with expectation. And so how can we love freely without that expectation of repayment? Unconditional love is a love without strings attached. So we don't base it on what someone will do for us in return. We simply love them as their highest and most beautiful selves and wanting nothing more than their happiness. So why is it so hard? Why do we get this unconditional love confused with conditional love? And how do we give freely without expectations? And how do we set those healthy boundaries to where we can unconditionally love another and accept that unconditional love in return? So when we look at why it's so difficult, it's very simple. It's because we're humans. We're having a human experience here on Earth, and Earth is hard. It's like signing up for AP Bio. It's a conscious choice to move forward every day. And the real question is not, are there limits to unconditional love? The real question is, how do we love unconditionally with limits? So what's the difference? What's the difference between loving without strings attached and loving unconditionally with boundaries? Strings attached has the feelings of, I did this for you, so you should do this for me. I loved you this much, and you should love me back. There's lots of shoulds with these strings attached kind of love. Loving unconditionally with boundaries sounds like, I love you as your most lovable, amazing, wonderful self. From my heart to yours, I love you. And if there are people you're trying to love who have hurt you or who are actively hurting you, it might mean loving them from a distance. So in order to love and care for yourself first, for your safety and well-being, it's important to love some people from a distance. This really hit home for me a couple years ago when I was having a conflict with somebody that I love very deeply. They're part of my family, and I didn't want to create a distance in our relationship. But when we look at the analogy of caring for ourselves first, just like when you're on an airplane and they say, hey, in case of emergency, if the masks fall, put it on you first, then your loved one. It's so important to love ourselves first. And in this moment, I was feeling like I couldn't love this person because too much of my negative energy was getting wrapped around it. So what I did is I did a meditation, and I allowed myself to get still. I allowed myself to get quiet. And in this visualization, I imagined myself as a tree connected to Mother Earth. And in this visualization, I could see this other person that I loved and many other people that I loved doing their things out in the world, humans having their human experience. And I felt this energy that kind of separated a little bit, separated me as this tree, as this loving piece of earth from the other people in my life. And it dawned on me in that moment that I could love these people or this specific person from a distance. I could still love her in all of the amazing ways that she was as a human, and yet still protect myself, still love myself unconditionally, to the point where I just created a little bit of distance. And so I still pull on that analogy, and that lesson that I learned was that sometimes having unconditional love for another person doesn't mean that they have to be right there in your space. You can love them from a distance until there's some healing that happens, until there's some repairing of the relationship, where then I can allow them to come closer. So unconditional love is a conscious choice to keep loving without expectations, without expecting them to change, and just taking that responsibility on yourself. And one of my secrets that I love to do in the way that I can stay aligned with my true unconditional loving self is 3 words: clean and clear. Before I'm going to be in a situation with another person, I will actually say to myself, clean and clear, clean and clear, clean and clear. Because my intention is to keep myself clean and clear from my own misgivings, my own judgments, my own strings attached, so that I can just be present with that other person, so that I will have the best opportunity to show up for them in a way that I can be proud of, that I can say, hey, in that moment, I was my most unconditionally loving self, giving without expectation, giving without strings attached, while still being present for myself, while still loving myself. And within this topic of unconditional love, sometimes we get caught up in living our life on planet Earth, humans doing their humaning, and we might end up feeling sad. And if you've ever felt that way, I invite you to watch our next video, What to Do When You Feel Sad for No Reason. Thank you so much for watching this video. I am Shannon Ray. This has been your Ray of Sunshine, and I will see you in the next video.